In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple pot holder. And I have this piece that includes 4 half square triangles. You can learn how to make 4 half square triangles in another video tutorial. I will link it below. I have put them together in a pinwheel shape. You can't see it very well because the colors are so light, they kind of blend together. And this ended up being 8 by 8. Then I have a 10 by 10 piece of fabric, and I have 2 10 by 10 pieces of batting. Now this is Insole Bright batting. It has like this metal stuff in between. You might be able to kind of see it in the video. And basically that just helps protect your hands a little bit more from the heat. And it's going to be doubled up in order to make it just a little bit thicker and a little more protective for your pot holder. So I will place the 10-inch square fabric face down, so the wrong side is up. Then I'm going to take my 2 pieces of batting, and then I will place my square in the center, and I'm going to quilt this just by going across these. All right, so I have just quilted some simple lines in the ditch across the diagonal and horizontally and vertically. And now I'm just going to cut and trim along these 4 edges of my top block. So I'm going to trim it to 8 by 8. All right, so I have trimmed the batting and the backing. So now they are all the same size. And this actually was 8.5 by 8.5. But the size doesn't really matter so much as long as you're just trimming everything to line up with whatever your top is. Now the next step, I'm going to sew 1/2 inch, not 1/4 inch, but 1/2 inch from each edge. I have a pair of pinking shears, which are the scissors that have the edges that will cut these little triangles. And I'm going to cut along all 4 edges of my pot holder. All right, so I have cut this with my pinking shears. It's about 1/4 inch from the edge. So that's why we sewed 1/2 inch in, because that allowed us to cut 1/4 inch off. I did cut the front with the first layer of batting separate from the back with the second layer of batting because it was really thick to try to cut through all 4 layers. Now you don't have to cut with the pinking shears. It's just going to make it a little bit easier to get the binding on. So here's my binding, and my next step will just be to add the binding to the pot holder. All right, so I have sewn the binding on. I machine stitched the binding down around the 4 edges, and there is my pot holder. It's nice and fluffy. You can hear that little crinkle from the Insole Bright padding. A super easy, fun project using half square triangles. Now go make something beautiful.